Who do you think's looking better so far in these playoffs? Would you give it to LeBron or Kawhi?
I think LeBron. I think LeBron has been absolutely spectacular. I don't think there's any denying that. As far as I'm concerned, he's just reminding us that he's the best in the world right now. Now, he may not be the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because I'm going to always give that to Michael Jordan. But in terms of the greatest of the modern era and the greatest in the game today, I don't think there's any question. Kawhi Leonard is obviously surreal. He's big time, particularly with what we're seeing him do on the offensive end of the floor. I was disappointed that he didn't elect to stay on Luka Doncic in Game 4 on that last play. I thought that was a drop-off on his part. I think, some in terms of the load management that he's engaged in, I think there's times he's doing that during the game, which is something that we've accused LeBron James of doing in the past. But in the end, when you see the way the Lakers have played over the last 3 games, where you see the way that LeBron has played, not just over the last 3 games, but the way he played during the regular season, those 8 regular season games, I think he played in like 6 or 7. I think that there is no question that he has looked better. He's been scoring, he's been rebounding, he's been defending, and more importantly, he's been getting his teammates involved and facilitating opportunities for others. To me, that's where the difference between him and Kawhi Leonard lies. The kind of conversations and questions that we had about Paul George over 3 games, we might have about somebody with the Lakers once, whether it's Anthony Davis in Game 1, or whether it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in Game 1, or whatever the case may be. As the games progressed, they got better because LeBron James, in part, ensured that they would be better. I say it's LeBron.
I think it's very, very close. I don't blame you for taking LeBron, but I think the answer is actually Kawhi Leonard, who can put up his numbers in a quieter way than LeBron. And in terms of everyone giving LeBron credit for facilitating the offense, there's no question he deserves it. But to always make that guy better than everyone else is to say that the point guard who scores is better than any other player. That hasn't been the history of the NBA. The history of the NBA has been usually the best player in the world, when it's not a big, is a two-way wing, scoring wing, just like Kawhi Leonard. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kawhi. Look, Kawhi Leonard, right now, Stephen A., through the playoff, he's played 5 games, LeBron's played 4. When you add up the points, rebounds, assists, turnovers, blocks, steals, all that stuff, free throw percentage, all that stuff, that's PER basically, right? How efficient is he scoring? They're both very close. Kawhi's a little better. When you look at the usage rate, Kawhi's actually a little higher. And when you look at the first-round opponent and the help that they've been given, Kawhi has been given less help by his second banana, even though Porzingis has missed games, right? He's still been given less help by his second banana than LeBron has been given by his. AD's been balling. Paul George has not been until this last game. And on top of that, in the Mavs, they have a tougher opponent than the Lakers have in the Blazers. So Kawhi has better numbers by a very little bit on offense, is facing a better team, has less help from his second-best player, and is about to close these guys out. Now I just talked about offense. On defense, LeBron is underrated defensively. During the regular season, though not as true this season, he's played defense this year, but in the second half of his career, he picked and chose where he played defense. But he's an all-time great defender when it matters most. LeBron is, and has played some great defense on Kawhi. No question. But Kawhi's a better defensive player than LeBron. Kawhi's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, an award LeBron's never won. Kawhi's been more first-team all-defense, even though his career, by several, I think 9 to 6, even though Kawhi's had a much shorter career than LeBron, he's a better defensive player than LeBron. So he's a little bit better on offense so far against a better opponent and clearly better on defense, although LeBron's underrated. It's very close. By the way, he's not the passer LeBron James is, obviously, but in fact is really the initiator of their offense often and is a much better passer than he used to be. All in all, if I have to choose, Kawhi's been a little better.
I disagree. And I think that, you say he's been better offensively. That's not what I've seen. I've seen him put up more scoring numbers. But, again, an assist is, to some degree, getting credit for the points other people score. And so when you look at KCP or you look at a Danny Green or you look at an Anthony Davis or you look at others and you see LeBron facilitating, LeBron gets credit for that. That matters. And so to me, when I look at the Lakers, and again, the one caveat that I will say is that if you wanted to make an argument to me that's against what I'm saying, Max, it would be that they're against the Portland Trail Blazers, who basically plays no defense. I mean, if you want to bring that up, okay, that would be a potent argument. I can't deny that because I'm not impressed with Portland's defense at all. But what I'm saying is what we're seeing from LeBron James offensively and defensively and leadership and what have you. Remember, all of those things come into the equation. The man has been to 9 NBA Finals. He's won 3. He kind of knows what it takes. And you're seeing his impact on this team. We were looking for Kawhi's impact with Paul George. We saw that collectively, Doc Rivers, Ty Lue, Sam Cassell, and the rest of those players, Beverly and Morris and all of those boys collaborated and really did what they could to uplift Paul George. In the case of the Lakers, everyone's usually leaning on LeBron James. And so far, I think he's answered the call.
They're leaning on Kawhi. He's their best player by far, right? Especially the way Paul George has played. And they're up in the series. I did mention.
They should have leaned on him defensively in Game 4.
They're up against a tougher. They're up against you're talking about one moment where you disagree with switching off someone. Meantime, they're about to close out the Mavs, who've played exceptionally well through most of the series, are a tougher opponent with more size and better defense than the Portland Trail Blazers. And you're penalizing Kawhi. Look, LeBron's more spectacular.
Well,
when he puts up those numbers, it's a loud 25 and 10 or whatever. And Kawhi just is the quiet assassin. But look at what they're actually doing and analyze it. Kawhi is the best player in basketball. I believe he's going to prove it throughout this postseason.
We didn't question Portland's offense. As a matter of fact, we thought it was lethal. They were averaging 126 a game. They go up against the Lakers. They're averaging 102. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.